What is up, YouTube? The Zelda Duelist is back at you with another deck profile. And this time it's branded Predaplant. Now, as of recording, I did just film the branded Despia deck profile. So, I don't really feel like going too in-depth with this. Mostly because if you're going to watch my content, you probably at least know what this stuff does. And if not, you can see that. Hence why there's no side deck here. It'll be the same side deck as the last one. There's no shot otherwise. Because it works the exact same. This video, as context, was asked by Miss Army Delewa. Army Delewa. I think that's how you pronounce it. If not, I do apologise. And they basically asked in my undefeated branding profile if they could add a Predaplant engine. And I went, yeah, you can. You need to remove some cards. So that's what I've done. I have removed, I believe, from that actual other list you just saw, I removed 8 cards. So if you watch that, you're going to know what's coming up. But you're going to see some of the newer stuff, like Ambular Melodies and Keeper. So then let's get on with the show, shall we? Because I'm more intrigued about the Predaplant stuff. It's not a deck I personally play a lot of. I know how Keeper, I think Keeper plus Fusion Deployment is a 1-card Dragoon. And how, in general, Keeper's really broken for the deck. You get Instant Fusion, you get Fusion Deployment. It's just really good. But yeah, let's get on with the show, shall we? Speaking of Keeper and Dragon Magic, play 3 copies of him. Again, it's a 1-card Dragoon, because you can then go, I believe it's, well, couple cards. You Keeper, discard a card, such Instant Fusion, Amulet Melodies, such Buffalicular, tribute, I think, Amulet Melodies, summon out Swing Cobra gets either, Swing Cobra gets Fusion Deployment gets Cartesia fuses with Darling Tony Cobra, makes Grand Queen God, sends Red Eye, and sends Dark Magician to grave. Then you can then activate Keeper, bring back DM, Reading Dragoon, and then Buffalicular fuses Keeper and Dark Magician together to make Dragoon. I said that quickly because I need to remember it, because I don't play this deck. I prefer regular Despia, but it is a fun deck, I'll give it that. It's a more fun variant of Despia. Brand in general. And because we're playing a Predaplant list, we're playing some Predaplant main deck monsters. But only 2, because any more than that's a bit bricky. We have 1 Buffalicular and 1 Darling Tony Cobra. This is a more competitive version of it, so I have another one on my channel, which is more old school Predaplant. We have like Orphis Scorpio, you have Chlamydia, I think it is. Chlamydia, however you pronounce it. You know what I'm referring to. And basically, that's a card in the deck. Like, you play those. In this variant, you just got these 2 in the main deck. You could play Triantis, but I don't think it's needed. And I will explain what these 2 do. Oh, I don't know what you do anyway. You're a Polymerization Pendulum Zone. This guy, if it's special summoned by a Predaplant monster, add a Polymerization spell, this includes Super Poly, or a Fusion spell card from my deck to my hand. So that is Brand Fusion. That is Instant Fusion, Fusion Deployment, Super Polymerization in this deck. 4 cards. Very handy. And of course, pair along with this engine, there's the 1 Dark Magician, because main benefit playing Predaplant, you have a 1-card Dragoon line, and that's very, very powerful. Especially in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Now into the branded stuff, like not good old classic branded. 2 Albaz, because 3 is actually too much in this deck. This is a shock for me when I was testing, but so now I don't really like having 3, because now mathematically you say don't say 2 copies because you want to draw it sometimes, not all the time. I just don't like drawing Albaz in this deck. I'm going to be honest. I just feel like he's not always needed half the time. And I occasionally draw him in a crack bat. I don't like seeing him in my opening hand, so I went 2 copies, just I don't usually see him as often. And one's not enough, and one's too little. For Despias, though, that's a bit different. Putting these up here. We only have 2 Alibur, because the main normal focus of this deck is Keeper, so we're not trying to overextend the Aliburs. We're still playing the 1 Tragedy and Libitum, because we're playing the Brandon Red package. Solely, and I do mean solely, because Guardian Chimera and double Mirror double whatnot to make it more viable as it competitively. We're not trying to make this pure Predaplant with this Albaz and Malibu. We're not trying to make it, just branded. Branded Predaplant. Next up, we have the rest of the monsters. And I say the rest because there's 4 of them left. 1 Cartesia, 1 Mercuria, 1 Albion, and the Bestial Rebellion. We're not playing Sauron here because you were playing Darling Tony and Cobra instead. That 1 Cartesia is all that you need because unlike branded Despia, where you use Cartesia a lot more frequently, Cartesia is mostly just here for that 1 card Dragoon. Mercuria is searchable, negate, so that's why it's here. I like Albion in this list. It gets stuff engraved and it's makes it so you don't draw some of the later stuff you don't want to see. If you do need an Albaz engraved, this is your way to do it. And this is just standard for Albion shenanigans. So whatever you do, do not just underestimate the power of Albion, the Shrouded Dragon. I said this before and I will say it again, it is one of the better branded cards. Anyway, spells. We'll quickly do branded stuff now. And it's the exact same as last time. Triple Fusion, Triple Opening, 1 Loss, 1 Bread, 1 Retribution. I'm not going to go into detail on these. I think these all make logical sense. So let's ignore those for now. And we'll go on to the other spells. So obviously Triple Fusion probably makes sense. You can search. It's searchable. Highly searchable, actually. It's always fun to have. And there's Instant Fusion as the 1 card combo starter of this deck. Very powerful card. Triple Super Poly because it's searchable. Searchable Super Poly is just so good. It's unreal how good searchable Super Poly is. 1 False Burial because you send Tragedy, search, add a little more Aluba if you have to, and it helps with unbreaking some cards or making sure you don't draw things. Or Called by the Grave because I don't like hand traps. I don't like hand traps being used against me, but I'm fine using hand traps because I'm a hypocrite with hand traps anyway. And speaking of hand traps, Triple Ash, 2 DD Crow because stop Unchained stuff, and 1 Impum because I like it. Again, this could be swapped out for a card of your choice. Ash is non-negotiable, and I think DD Crow is fair enough. You could play a Bestial Magam Hut in this slot, actually, now I'm talking on it. If you want that banish, and then it also searches Keeper, so it's it can be helpful, but it's your choice, not everyone's. And searching Keeper would definitely throw them off. Extra deck. Playing 1 Amulet of these. Now, if you don't know what this card does, if it's fusion summoned, off instant fusion, you can add a Predaplant monster or a Predap spell trap from your deck, graveyard, or face-up extra deck to your hand. It's cracked. Personally, you use it to search Buffalicular. If I have mispronounced any Predaplant names, do tell me. But yeah, it's a very powerful card. And you can also target a monster your opponent controls with a Predaplant counter, so maybe off Draxpelia, or 1 monster you control, tribute it, and if you do, special a Predaplant monster from your deck. This does mean then that you get Darling Tony Cobra's effect off, and that's a 1 card combo starter, and it's very powerful. Originally, this was printed as common, so it's actually pretty cheap to get your hands on. And I believe printing it as a common was an injustice to the card, and that's why I'm happy with the Mama reprint. Other instant fusion targets, Melee again, stops hand traps, because that's what Brown mostly loses to. And Draxpelia, it's the boss monster. Because, in all honesty, this is a Dragoon deck. Let's be real here. Drax is a Predaplant deck, but the main focus of playing the Predaplant package in Branded is for that sweet, sweet, easy Dragoon. Sucks, but it's true. Anyway, onto the Branded shenanigans. And guess what? It's hardly changed, as always. 2 Albion, 1 Lubellion, 2 Mirror Jade, and the Red Room. That's it for the Albaz stuff. I need an explanation. These are fusion summoners, these 2. This is like the best brand end board monster. This beats Unchained and sent off Mirror Jade with Albaz Engrave. You get to engrave with Albaz Engrave. That's an extra super poly. We're also playing one Grand Recall, I mentioned this earlier, part of the big combo. If I have time, I'll quickly show you the combo, actually. Proskenion, because it summons off Grand Recall. One Dragoon, the true boss monster of this deck. A Masquerade so we can win in time. Let me move this up a tiny bit, so I can fit the final 2 cards on here. One Guardian Chimera, because I find it really useful to have for non-Unchained matchups. And Garura as a Super Poly target. Now I'm going to go and quickly set up the Keeper combo so you all can see. Alright then, so after that quick break, where I set everything up, this will be how to do the 1-card Dragoon line. So, for context, this is all you care about in a discard. So, just so no one goes, oh, you can have Brand Infusion if I do a test hand. This is hand traps. These I cannot play. I physically cannot play them on my turn. I'm saying the opponent doesn't have an interruption. So let's do this. So you'll go normal summon Keeper. You have a Keeper's effect, discarding Ash. Doesn't matter what you discard. Of Keeper, you'll then search Instant Fusion. Then you can animate Instant Fusion, paying 1,000 life points to summon out Predaplant Amulo Melodies. On summon Amulo Melodies, we'll then search for you Buffalicular, which you'll put in the Pendulum Scale for later. Remember, this is here. Then you can do Amulo Melodies effect, or move the hand trap there, to tribute itself, and summon from the deck Darling Tonia, Cobra. Cobra's effect will activate to let you search Fusion Deployment, which you can activate, revealing the Grand Greekanol. There you go, you can see that. In your extract to summon out Cartesia. You could reveal Dragoon here and do both Follicular. I think it's a bit anticlimactic, and also this is a better end board. You animate Cartesia to fuse these two together. And that makes Grand Greekanol. Grand Greekanol's effect will activate, sending Dark Magician to the graveyard. You can animate Keeper, revealing Rise Out Dragoon, and targeting Dark Magician to set it face down the field. This will then let you activate Buffalicular to fuse Dark Magician with a Dragon effect monster in Keeper of Dragon Magic to form Rise Dark Dragoon. And that's a 1-card almost starter. So Keeper is a really good card in this deck. I'm going to now, so you can see the basic combo you can go for, and then pair that with Brand Infusion, and then you've got a really good end board. I'm going to pause this by recording one more time so I can get a test hand ready. Catch you all in a minute. I have put all the cards away, and I'm going to quickly just shuffle up. So the extract will be off screen because I can't make this any wider without moving the camera and jiggling it, and that's not very fun for anyone. Especially not me, because I've been so long trying to get this the way it is. As I shuffle, what other decks do you want me to do a profile on? I'm thinking Blue Eyes OTK is the next deck I'm going to be doing, because that deck to me is absolutely hilarious. With Vision of Eyes of Blue, Banish everything, with a bunch of OTK cards in it. That's hilarious. There's no doubt about that. Not amazing, but it's hilarious. So I might do that at some point. But if anyone else has any decks you want me to try and build, let me know in the comments. Although I do specialize in Branded and Dark Magician, I do obviously have proficiencies playing decks such as I mentioned Blue Eyes OTK, which is a bit janky. Synchron, like Cyber Dragon. I learn decks pretty quickly, meaning if you want me to, I don't know, Dark World, I will learn Dark World and I will give you guys what I learn. You have to give me patience with it because I don't have the greatest learning speed ever. But there you go. We'll just quickly just cut this. And our test hand is Sacred there. You have a Keeper, we have full combo. Supole. Deployment, that's very nice. Deployment, okay. Impum. What you'll start your turn off by doing is activating Fusion Deployment. By then revealing your Grand Recall, you will skip a step. I say skip a step. And summon out, where is it? Where is she? Cartesia from the deck. This lets your Keeper dodge Impum here. And then you can go normal summon Keeper, navigate Keeper, discarding Fusion Deployment. This will let you add to your hand Instant Fusion. As you can see, I have shuffled this as well into Fusion. Which you can straight away activate, pay 1,000, move these up a bit, summon out, that's Grand Recall. Amulet Melodies. Amulet Melodies will search Follicular. There it is. Follicular. Activating Follicular, put it there. And then you activate Amulet Melodies, treating itself, summoning from the deck Darling Tony a Cobra. I'm not shuffling between these because it saves me time and I'm not drawing. Cobra activate. Now, we've already used a fusion deployment, meaning you don't need to search that anymore. And I opened Super Polymerization, meaning instead you can search. Not branded lost, branded fusion. Meaning you get extra combo stuff, and that's going to be something you guys get to see now, actually, because you didn't see that last time. Mostly because it was a card with just Keeper. And my Cartesia here, fusing together itself with Darling Tony Cobra to form Grand Recall. Grand Recall effect will activate to send Dark Magician. This is the weakest point in the combo from what I know. We have Brand Fusion in hand, but if they have Nibiru and Ash, you lose this game now. I mean, you do get Proskinian out, or Quertus, depending if you're playing that. Here, so this is the only time they can properly. Oh, when you get DM, still, it's not a great time, but you can still, nuke their board. And then if they have Ash, stop Brand Fusion, you're a bit screwed. But say they have nothing, Keeper's effect will activate. Unless they just have Ash, you win. Still brew pretty well. You can set this here. Follicular, bop, boom, pow. That's your Dragoon. From there, we can go Brand Fusion. For free, basically. It is basically free. From here, we will fuse together Albaz. And I think the Bestial Lubellion. Is it the Bestial? Yeah, the Bestial Lubellion. Now, the great bit about the fact it's not Despia, you don't have to care too much about how many Albaz you have in deck. Meaning from here you go Ave Albion, and I will recommend banishing your Albaz, obviously, alongside your Amulet Melodies. This isn't going to come up again. So put them there, so you can see. You banish both of them, make Mirror Jade. And then you can summon the Bestial Lubellion off Albion. And its effect, getting Branded Lost to this battle trap zone. Is that everything you can do before we start setting cards? Yes. So you'll set Super Poly, and that would be it. There's a reason for this. Keep him home in hand. Goes to end phase. Cartesia, Daisy. Cartesia will add herself back to hand. And, yeah, and then Albion will resolve. Now, you can get Branded in red, but it's pretty dead here. So how I recommend something else. You look through it, and instead of grabbing Branded in red, let's go with Branded Retribution. Put that there. And that is your end board. What did this end board accomplish, you may be asking? Well, simple. Depending on the order, depends on how this works, but you do have one definite Dragoon Omni Negate. So, we need to dice count this, because it's easy for me. 1. You have a Mirror Jade Banish. 2. You have, let's say, Grand Recall Special. This is unlikely, but we'll go maximum here. 3. You have Retribution. Put them back, say, the Rindbrum and the Albion. Put them back. That does, in fact, whoopsie daisy. That makes 4. You have Super Poly. Say, 5. And if you can make it, it will be something like Dragos Tapelia. 6. And that wasn't in a very good hand. Double deployment was very unlucky. And we still got this much off. I think this deck is really good. Obviously. And I do thank you... Oh, God. Army de Lewa. There we go. For recommending me to try this. It's a fun deck. if I ever get time in the future, I go to locals, I might bring this with me. Who knows? Because it's a fun little deck. It's definitely not the greatest form of Branded. Obviously, Chimera exists, Despia exists, but it's definitely one of the most fun variants by a long shot. And with that, I would like to say thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, yada yada. You know YouTube by now. You know what I'm gonna ask you to do. And if you want just to chat or like give me a deck list, join my Discord. Till then, cheerio.